Recording now. Okay, so here's a verb, wohnen, to live as in reside. And we're going to go through and conjugate. So, what's our stem of the verb? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go through and put that in. It was me. It's fine. Remember to move these chairs up. Okay. So, huh?
I thought you already did.
Oh, they continue, like people are constantly pushing backwards. You have to move it up every day. So, ich, what's our ending going to be? E. Yep, so what's our new word? Gotta say that E at the end is an so try that. Wohnen. There you go. What about du? ST. So yep, I heard both. So we had the ST. And how do you say it? Wohnst. Good. Is the S in mind? What are we adding? T. So our new verb is wohnt. Good. What about wir? What are we adding? En. So now we have wohnen. Ihr, what are we adding? T. So we have wohnt. And Z, what are we adding? And then wohnen. Sehr gut. That's it for your verb T. Keep it handy. You'll want to take a look at it, but you don't need to write any more on it. Alright, and back in whatever else you normally take notes in. If we were going to ask, where do you live? Which form of you do you think we should use? Regular you. Nothing fancy about it. Du. Yep. So when I say you, unless I specify, we're always just going to go with du. Okay? So we're going to ask, where do you live? What's our first word going to be? Wo. Good. And in a question, you can start with the verb or the question phrase. So we have a question phrase. What comes next? You have your word order notes. Verb comes second. Good. What's our verb? It's the action. Verb is the thing that we conjugate. We change the ending on it. Wohnst, yeah. So the original form is wohnen. Why are we using wohnst? Good. Yeah, you're changing the ending to match the du, because that's your main subject. So du is your main subject, so you use the st ending. Okay. So everybody try. Wo wohnst du? Okay, so where do you live? Okay. So just as a reminder too that du and live are in the same word in German. Okay. So remember, wohnst is comprised of both of those words. What if you're going to ask the same question? So where do you live? But this time we're going to use the formal. What would your first word be? Where do you live, but using the formal? Say again? Wo. Yeah, the first word doesn't change at all. Still the same question word. Now what? Wohnen. Good. Why is it wohnen?
Because it's with the formal, which is side.
Yep, the formal Z. Is it big S or little s? Big S. Yep. So make sure you know it's pretty big. Okay. So wo wohnen Sie? It's another way to ask where do you live, but this time formal. What What if we were going to answer them and we were going to say, I live in Minnesota? What's your first word? Ich. Good. And then? Wohne. Yep. And we chose the E ending because ich was our main subject. The word for in is pretty hard. In. And then you channel your inner Fargo person. Okay. So everybody try. Ich wohne in Minnesota. Good. So yesterday we talked about the verb kommen. So we had the phrase Ich komme aus Minnesota. And now we've got Ich wohne in Minnesota. Very, very, very related, right? But when you're using the Ich wohne in Minnesota, that means you still live here. When you're using Ich komme aus Minnesota, that could mean you still live there, but that's where you're originally from. Okay? So, you could say something like Ich komme aus Deutschland, aber ich wohne in Minnesota. So I come from Germany, but I live in Minnesota. Okay? Would you ask, do you all live here? Do we have a question phrase this time? Huh? One of the W words? Do you all live here? Do we have a W word off that chart up on the wall? Nope. So if we don't have a question word, what has to come first in a question? The verb. Yep, because we don't have a question word or question phrase. So verb is the next thing. Okay. So how do you say y'all? Ear. Yep, like what's on your head. Okay. How do you conjugate your verb for ear? Add a T. Good. So that leaves us with wohnt. And what comes next? Ear. Remember the main subject and the verb, they're that inseparable couple in the hallway. Right? Nothing comes between them. And then do you remember the word for hear? I had that one yesterday. You're overthinking. Yeah, it's pronounced the same, remember? Oh, that's a glorious E. Whatever. H-I-E-R. Okay? So everybody try that. Wohnt ihr hier?
Wohnt ihr hier?
So do y'all live here? Wie sagt man no? How do you say no? Nein. Okay. You could be rude, just leave it at that. Do y'all live here? No. Done. Or you could continue on and give them some sort of explanation as to where you do live. Okay? So, for example, try that. Nein, da drüben.
Nein, da drüben.
That means no, over there. And da drüben, that words are actually flip-flop from what you would expect, so da is the word for there. But there's another way to say there as well. Dort is another way. So you could say nein da drüben, or you could say nein dort drüben. Mean the same thing. Another option. How do you say the first word? Nicht. Yep. And the second word? Weit. Good. Put it together. Nicht weit. Remember what nicht means? Not. Yeah, when you add the S, it means nothing. So nicht means not, nix means nothing. Okay? So nicht weit means not far. What do you think that means? Nur 10 Minuten von hier.
10 minutes from here.
Good. Only 10 minutes from here. Yeah, good. Everybody try. Nur 10 Minuten von hier. Put it together. Nur 10 Minuten von hier. Good. Okay. Try the next one. Gleich die Ecke. Okay, so that means just around the corner.
Because when you're a fourth grader, it's the funniest thing ever, actually. Doesn't it make you
My
feel
brother's
really
gonna
guilty?
see that
You're
this
like,
year.
well, looks like you're not
This
mature
feels
enough.
like when
for
my
Oh
brother
my
your
gosh.
thing. It's like,
I got kicked out.
All right. Does everybody have that one? Can we move on? Okay. All right, let's do one more question, and then we have some. We're going to put the question words in our notes then too. Okay. What if we we're going to ask, does Heidi live in Germany? Do we have a question phrase? No, we don't have one of the W words. Okay. So what comes first? Main subject, verb. What kind of thing? Verb comes first. Good. So Heidi is our main subject. How are we going to conjugate the verb from Heidi? Say again? No? T. Why is it a T? She's female, yeah. So the way to say she is what you would use. So sie, and that's the T ending. Okay? So we have wohnt. What comes next? Sie, or yeah, we'll use Heidi for fun. Okay, so wohnt Heidi. And then, does Heidi live in Germany? It's the really tough word next. In, yep. And how do you say Germany? Deutschland. Everybody, Deutschland. Okay, so it's not Deutschland. It's Deutschland. One more time, Deutschland. That's better. So don't, oh, that was, I just wrote das. Not das. Does. Use English, Sally. Hmm?
My cousin Heidi used to live in Germany.
Oh, there you go. I have a Heidi in 5th period, and she came up after me. Nein, ich wohne nicht in Deutschland. I'm like, ah, that's pretty good. Does Heidi live in Germany? Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle. Right, and then we're going to do question words. Yay. Alright, we did the 3 ways to ask where yesterday. What was the one that was used for where something is located? It's not going anywhere. Wo. Yep, just wo. Okay. So where it's located. That's why you use wo wohnst du. Where do you live? So your residence isn't moving around. Okay? It's in one spot. What was the one for where something is going to? Say again? Look at the notes. Wo something. Wo what? Wohin. Yep. Okay. Everybody, wohin. Okay. And what about where from? What was that one? Where something's coming from. Woher. Everybody, woher. There you go. All right. The rest of these you can help yourself out by looking up at that W poster up there. Okay. So everybody try this. Welche. And what does that mean? Which. That ending. Oh wow, I can spell. That's what happens when you're talking and writing at the same time. This E is going to change. It might be E, ER, ES, EN. Just like gut changes from gut, gute, guten, all those things. So for now we're just going to leave it as the E. Wie sagt man who? How do you say who? Where. Good. A lot of people confuse that with the word for where because it sounds so similar. Okay, so everybody, where. There you go. What about how? Not wie, but wie. Everybody, wie. Notice these all start with W, unlike the English where most of them do. Okay. What about how much? Wie viel. Good. Everybody, wie viel. Good. Wie sagt man what? Was. Everybody, was. Two more. I'm going to squeeze it on the same slide. Wie sagt man when? Wann. Everybody, wann. Can you tell me what the last one's going to be? I heard why. That's awesome. That's Germish right there. Why? And you say it as warum. Try that. Warum. Good. How many of you have ever heard somebody say something like, why? Because. You know, yeah. Like most hands go up. In German, that would sound warum? Darum. Okay. Fragen? Any questions? Gut.